So you were saying perspective, and every time that you came to the conclusion of making a good truth in your eyes, your perspective was most likely in the perspective that God was seeing it at.
I don't know if I would be presumptuous enough to assume that, but what I did try was to, and I do try, was to make sure that I could feel firm ground under my feet. Now, you can feel that, and if you're careful with your words, if you're putting on a show, you will become self-conscious. And the reason for that is because putting on a show is an expression of self-consciousness. Putting on a show means it's about you, by definition, right? You're displaying yourself for status, for example, to be the smartest person in the room for whatever short-term, self-centered gain you're currently after. Well, that makes you self-conscious. Okay, so one of the things you can do while you're speaking is you can feel whether or not what you're saying is making you self-conscious. And if it is, you can stop saying that. And that's a great relief, because there's actually very little that's more uncomfortable than being self-conscious. Now, if your words aren't designed to suit yourself, then they won't make you self-conscious. And there's nothing better than that. And then people will trade that. They'll trade that. It's like the pearl of great price, you know. They'll trade that for something of much lesser value. And that's foolish. Now, you know, sometimes there's a conflict because maybe you're called upon to say something that's going to cause you trouble in the short term. It's going to interfere with your perceived status, or it's going to cause you financial trouble even in the short run. And so you won't do it. You don't do it. But all you're doing is sacrificing the greater to the lesser. And see, I learned this partly by being a clinical psychologist. So one of the things I learned from being a clinical psychologist, also in my own family, was that if you have a disagreement with someone and you pretend that you don't, all that happens inevitably is that the disagreement deepens and multiplies and extends over a much longer period of time, even forever.
Resentment.
Yes, that's certainly one of its manifestations. Yes, well, resentment and lies, you know, like if we're in a relationship and I have to see you every day and there's something you do that annoys me, well, let's take that apart. So there's something you do habitually that annoys me. Okay, there's two possibilities. One is you're annoying. One is there's something wrong with how I'm looking at it, or some intermingling of those. Now, I could bring that up. Now, you might say, well, how would I bring that up? And I would say something like, when this happens, I find myself irritated. What do you think about that? And now I have to really want to know, because part of me is going to think, well, I'm hoping that it's you that's annoying and not me that's stupid. But I might be stupid. So I'm going to put it out there neutrally. It's like, let's sort this out, because I'd rather not be irritated with you. And so if you can figure out why I'm blind and you're fine, you tell me and I'll do what I can to sort that out. But if we figure out that you're annoying, then let's see what we can do about that so that I don't have to be annoyed with you every goddamn day for the rest of my life. Right? And that's a war, right? And that's often the sort of war that people don't want to have. And it's certainly the sort of thing they'll turn a blind eye to. But if you have 30 of those things with your wife, you're done. Your marriage is done.